David Roche is a professor at the National Defence University. He's a former NATO official, and he's joining us from Washington, D.C. Good to have you with us again, David. What decisions do you think are facing President Vladimir Putin now?
I think he's in a pretty tough spot. I mean, first off, he's going to have to physically go to Turkey. If he doesn't, then I think the West will conclude that Zelensky is a suitable partner for peace, but Putin is not. And they'll probably shift from the negotiations track towards more active support of Ukraine. And the Europeans have threatened expanded sanctions as well.
What are the pressures, do you think, that Vladimir Putin is facing? I mean, you mentioned the sanctions there. And to what extent could they sanction the country that they haven't done already that might actually have an impact on President Putin?
Yeah, good question. So, a lot about the inner workings of the Russian government are speculative, but the people around him, help keep him in power. It's basically a corrupt cabal. A lot of them have relatives in the West. Sergei Lavrov's daughter, I think, lives in the United Kingdom. There's all kinds of, and this war, which was supposed to enrich them, has instead just ground Russia into a very, very bad spot. I think that personal sanctions on family members of Russian regime insiders, I think that expanded financial sanctions on the oil and gas industry, and then I think measures to substitute Russian oil and gas with other sources, particularly Qatar, would do real damage to Russia at a time when their economic base, particularly their rail system, which they're very dependent on, is on the verge of collapse.
I mean, over the last several months, certainly during the duration of the run-up to the presidency of Donald Trump, there was a lot of criticism about the way that Trump was, the relationship that existed between President Trump and President Putin, and we've seen that criticism ebb and flow essentially over the last couple of months. What's your assessment of where that relationship is now?
I don't think it's good. I think that Trump started out basically pushing Zelensky into a spot where he had to agree at least to commence negotiations and figured, okay, now we've got the opportunity for a deal. When he then turned to Putin and said, all right, let's do it, Putin just restated his war aims. That, I think, is a moment where Trump said, all right, the deal, the seamless, beautiful deal, that's not going to happen. And I think now he's focused on Putin as the obstacle. And I think that if these talks fail, and I'm pretty sure they will, I think that we're going to see that stepped up a little bit.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the aftermath of these talks, because we are getting to the point where options for both sides are beginning to run out, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Russia is making small gains in the eastern part of the battlefield, but at incredible cost. Ukraine, on the other hand, is showing that it can strike deep within Russia, things that are unattainable. 40% of Russia's artillery reportedly comes from North Korea. I mean, the idea that Russia is dependent on Iran and North Korea for close and deep-range fires would have been laughable 4 years ago. And as I mentioned earlier, it appears that the railroad system is at verge of collapse. That would have a profound economic effect on Russia. So this has not been the quick, easy win that Putin thought, and that, quite frankly, I thought Putin was going to get.
As always, David, we appreciate you giving us the benefit of your expertise in this. David Roche, thank you very much indeed.
It's an honor.